Welcome back to Fado Channel, the podcast where we explore the soul of Portuguese music. Today's episode is dedicated to one of the greatest singers of the 20th century, a woman whose voice carried the essence of Portugal to the entire world, Amália Rodrigues, often called the Queen of Fado. To guide us through her story, I have with me a special guest who knows a lot about Amalia's life and legacy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Talking about Amália Rodrigues is always a privilege because she was more than a singer. She was the soul of a nation.
Let's start from the beginning. Who was Amália Rodrigues before the fame?
Amália Rodrigues was born in Lisbon on July 23, 1920. She grew up in humble circumstances, in the traditional neighborhoods of Alfama and Mouraria. These were places filled with hardship, but also with music, with the sounds of fado echoing in taverns and small streets. From a young age, she showed an extraordinary voice. She began singing in local gatherings and small fado houses, and soon her talent couldn't go unnoticed.
When did she begin to attract national attention?
In the 1940s, Amalia recorded her first songs and became a regular presence on the radio. The Portuguese immediately recognized that her way of singing was unique, intense, emotional, and deeply personal. Around the same time, she appeared in Portuguese films, which gave her even more visibility.
So by the 1940s, she was already a star in Portugal.
Exactly. Her fame only grew stronger from that point.
Amalia didn't stay only in Portugal, right? She brought fado to the entire world.
Yes, she became an international icon. She sang in legendary venues such as the Olympia in Paris, the Lincoln Center in New York, and the Canecão in Rio de Janeiro. She performed not only in Portuguese, but also in French, Spanish, Italian, and even English. That must have helped her connect with audiences far beyond Portugal.
Absolutely. Songs like Coimbra, which Americans sometimes knew as April in Portugal, became international hits. Other unforgettable performances include Estranha Forma de Vida, Strange Way of Life, Povo que lavas no rio, People who wash clothes in the river, and, of course, Barco Negro, Black Boat. These songs carried the soul of fado to listeners who had never even set foot in Lisbon. What made Amália Rodrigues so different from other fado singers of her time?
First, her voice, rich, powerful, and full of saudade, that untranslatable Portuguese word that mixes longing, nostalgia, and fate. But also her courage to innovate. Amalia introduced poetry into fado, singing verses from great Portuguese poets like Luís Camões II, David Mourão Ferreira, and Alexander O'Neill. She worked with some of the best guitarists in Portugal, like José Fontes Rocha and Carlos Gonçalves. This combination gave fado a political and artistic depth that was revolutionary.
So she was both a guardian of tradition and an innovator?
Exactly. She respected the roots of fado, but also opened doors to new possibilities.
And what about Amalia as a person outside the stage?
Amalia was known to be private and humble, despite her international fame. She was also very generous, often helping families in need without ever publicizing it. For her, the love of the public was the most important recognition, even though she also received many honors like the French Legion of Honor and high decorations in Portugal.
How was her death received in Portugal?
It was a moment of national mourning. The government declared official mourning, and later she was laid to rest in the National Pantheon in Lisbon, among the greatest figures in Portuguese history. But her legacy didn't end there. New generations of fado singers like Marisa or Ana Moura continued to see her as their main inspiration. And in 2011, fado itself was recognized by UNESCO as Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity, something that would not have been possible without Amalia's pioneering work.
So, in many ways, Amália Rodrigues is still alive in every fado performance today?
Absolutely. She is the eternal voice of Portugal.
This has been a fascinating journey through the life of Amália Rodrigues, the Queen of Fado, from the narrow streets of Alfama to the world's greatest stages. Her voice continues to touch hearts across generations.
Yes, and if you've never listened closely to her songs, I recommend starting with Barco Negro, Estranha Forma de Vida, and Povo que lavas no rio. They are masterpieces that truly express what Fado is all about.
Thank you so much for being with us today and sharing this story.
Thank you. It was an honor to remember Amalia.
And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Fado channel. Your support helps us bring more stories and music of Portugal to the world. See you in the next episode.